With the recent bannings, Wizards gave us a bunch of wildcards, and I immediately dumped them into a deck I've been meaning to craft for a while and play a video with, but it's got a bunch of cards with not a lot of crossover, and that is zombies. So if you're a zombies fan, or if you're like, zombies seem super sweet, but I don't want to burn a bunch of wildcards I'm never getting back, this is the video for you. Zombies and Explorer. Deck is awesome, deck is super sweet, it's fairly competitive. Let's get into it. So, kicking us off at 1, we have a bunch of really nice 1-drops. Champion of the Perished, the shout out to its human counterpart. Black for a 1/1, whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. You want to play it as early as possible, start making a bunch of zombies, power it up. Crypt Breaker, another exclusive one for zombies in particular. Obviously it was originally printed in Eldritch Moon. Back for a 1/1, again, hey, kind of on theme. Has this 1 black tap, discard a card, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token activated ability, which is handy if you're in a tight spot. However, it's a huge card advantage engine for the deck with a second ability. Tap 3, untap zombies you control, you draw a card and lose a life. This ability lets you go quite long and grindy with some of the more mid-range decks in the format, some of the more controlling decks in the format. You have a bunch of cards that come back from the graveyard as well, and so really this deck can go quite late and will just grind your opponents out of value. Speaking of that, we also have Dread Wanderer, our last 1-drop creature. Black for a 2/1, enter the battlefield tapped, 2 and a black, return it from the graveyard to the battlefield, but you can only activate it if you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, and also only as a sorcery. One of the nice things about this deck is that we get to cash in on Castle Lockthwain and play a pile of them, and so just be a little careful when you're activating this, make sure you're activating this before you activate Castle. Again, deck grinds for days, and so you'll get into positions where you'll be able to do both because you just have that many lands in play. Rounding things off at 1, we've got some really powerful black spells. Obviously, you'll be very familiar with Thoughtseize and Fatal Push, just kind of the best in class here. And then we also have 2 copies of Dark Salvation, which is a really sweet one. Black XX, target player creates X 2/2 zombie creature tokens, then up to 1 target creature gets -1 till end of turn for each zombie that player controls. You target yourself, and then your opponent's creature, and then it gets -1/-1 for each zombie you, as that player, control. The thing here is that you can play it for 0 if you've got some zombies in play just as a kill spell, or later on, because again, you're grinding, you scale quite well, you can cast it, make a bunch of zombies, and then also get that kill spell ability. Really versatile, scales really well, Dark Salvation's really good. One of the new additions here is Razorlash Transmogrant. 2 mana for a 3/1, it is a zombie, can't block, that's also a bit of a sub-theme. 6 mana, return it from the graveyard to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter. Ability costs less if your opponent has 4 or more non-basic lands. Pretty handy. Again, another card that kind of recurs itself to the graveyard. Again, really lets you grind. We have 4 copies of Relentless Dead from Shadows Remastered. Black for a 2/2 Menace. Now, Relentless Dead is kind of like the endless cycle, because it just keeps coming back and bringing other things back, and it just, yeah. If you've got mana to use with it, it's just going to be around and cause your opponent tons of problems. So, when Relentless Dead dies, you may pay black. If you do, return it to its owner's hand. Okay. Also, whenever Relentless Dead dies, you may pay X, and if you do, return another target zombie creature card with mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, if you've got, assuming you've got the mana, you pay X to return a card from the battlefield, you pay black to return the Relentless Dead to hand, hey, and you're just kind of off to the races. Makes you really good versus sweepers and other decks that just want to kind of kill all your stuff. Relentless Dead is just havoc there. We also have 2 copies of Graph Reaver, which, hey, it's a 2 mana 3/3, nice, it beats down pretty well, but also can exploit a creature to destroy a Planeswalker, pretty handy, does deal some damage to you, we're not super worried about that. Other than that, 2 mana 3/3 beater, very strong. And then rounding things out for 2 copies of Go for the Throat, just one of the best removal spells in the format. Hey, sometimes you just need to kill a Greasefang or something like that. At 3, we've got 2 copies of Lord of the Accursed, one of the best zombie lords. Not only does it pump all your zombies, but it also has the ability to give them more menace, just stop your opponent from blocking, swing with the team, you mass a bunch of zombies, kind of going out over time, and then hey, activate Lord of the Accursed. Cool, good luck blocking this. We then have 2 copies of Liliana the Veil. Nice. We do have a bunch of cards that recur themselves in this deck, and so you can pitch those, which is pretty handy, and then also obviously being able to attack your opponent's hand. Liliana is great. And then, hey, I'm playing a black deck in the format. Again, we've got our Thoughtseizers, we've got our Fatal Pushes, we've also got some Shield Dreads here. Just so good. Stone Walls, pressure to your opponent's life total, gets you some life back as well to get you some tough spots. The mana base, this deck gets to play a bunch of man lands. We've got 4 copies of Hive of the Hive Tyrant, which is actually a Beholder, but hey, that's okay. Interact with opponent's graveyard, obviously lets you text 3%. This deck's so good against like control. So good. So 4 copies of Hive of the Hive Tyrant, along with 4 copies of Mutavault, which in fact is a zombie. You've got 1 copy of Takanuma, gets your creatures back, and then 3 copies of Castle Locthwain with 10 swamps. We really, really want to win the late game. If you get flooded, you're just going to be able to draw a bunch of cards. Really, really powerful. Deck grinds like anything, and then we've got Thoughtseize and some of the disruption for the more combo-orientated or unfair things. Going into the sideboard, then we'll hop into some best 3 ranked games. Speaking of unfair things, we've got 3 copies of Dress here. The more spell-based combo stuff, things like Mono Green as well. And then 4 copies of Leyline of the Void, deal with Greasefang and the like. 4, if you really want to get really, really grindy in those matchups, Reckon of Backbuster is also a house. And then we have some other things here. Ray of Enfeeblement, obviously, versus Mono White, Angels, and then also Noxious Grasp, which is also pretty good in those matchups, or again against green. Very, very solid. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel, and we're going to hop into some ranked games. Alright, into the ring with zombies. Some pretty sweet decks our last couple of weeks. We just had RCs in the US, we're going to have RCs in Europe in this coming weekend. Obviously, if you've not seen it yet, check out my video on the Arcfiend Alteration combo. It's super, super sweet. The new Splinter Twin is actually very strong. The choices. I'm going to run out the champion as we're looking at Kahira. See if we get lay down arms. But if not, I can feel pretty good about it. Oh, might actually be Esper. It probably is Esper given they play this. That would make the most sense, but sometimes you do want like the 5th, 6th cycling land. And could also be like 4 color, but hey. I think we just commit to the board. Relentless Dead again is like one of the best grinding cards here we have. And being able to lead like Thoughtseize into Liliana later might be super, super powerful. Yeah. Given they're playing Esper colors, very unlikely they're actually playing Laydown Arms. So, just gonna... You see, so we don't get an extra damage to the champion, but given we want to go like Thoughts into something, I think this is okay. Let's see what they're actually up to. Oh, we're gonna get vetoed. At which point... They've only got 2 mana. Oh, they could have a... The problem is that they might have temporary lockdown. But they currently haven't shown another untapped white source. And so I'm going to risk this. And there's not a ton you can do to play around it. Okay, they don't have it, which is good. The Mutavault. And now we kind of... Because they're going into a verdict, what could be a verdict turn. We don't want to spend too much mana here. Okay, sure. This fog's a little bit of damage. But in the case of Verdict, we kind of just want to be able to pop off a bit with Relentless Dead and just activate it for a bunch. I'm actually just going to pass. We're passing back. There's like a hero build. Not if I was Yorion, I'd be more worried about like a one of Sal the Wreckage. I'm going to the red zone. The danger here is they have like Wandering Emperor, Shot Typhoon. Again. You Shot Typhoon. Okay, yeah. You have an Emperor.
Now you've done it. Hat's coming off.
Obviously the exile the champion. Okay.
I am almost sad to see you go.
The start's getting a little riskier. Now's a good time to get Liliana in. The problem is that the... I don't think so. I think we made the Transmogrian actually. I just want to leave up mana to do things with the Relentless Dead. Because Arath is how they get out of this.
I guess that's it.
Making a soldier's fine. Let's see. Maybe they have another Emperor. Unfortunately, we don't really get to play around that very well. They're incentivized as they do to like exile the Transmogrant. I'm gonna block it here, which is fine. Nothing else. Fall to 4. Okay. I'm gonna leave this in the yard for now. I'm just gonna cast the Champion that perished. They got 5 mana, which is a lot. They've not done anything with it yet. Yeah, this actually can be activated whenever. Pretty cool. I've not played with Transmogrified Mage before, in spite of me playing a ton of Dredge. It's just not like as good as some of the other Dredge options. Obviously, here when your opponent's playing like nearly all on basics, it's gonna be good. But there are a bunch of matchups where it doesn't do anything. I'm just gonna pass through, huh? Well, I guess I do this now. Let's keep it up. Alright. Game 2. This kind of sorts itself out a little bit. We want the dresses. The Bankbusters let us grind a bit. The Noxious Grasps obviously deal with like Teferi Wandering Emperor, but I'm not actually sure we want them or not. And think about what we want to cut. Because the cards we could bring in are like these. But I don't know if we actually want the Noxious Grasps, because they're not doing tons. We definitely don't want these Fatal Pushes, so I'm pretty happy just getting rid of those. Dark Salvation scales well, a bit too clunky. Obviously that removal's not doing a ton. The Go for the Throats. Okay, this is looking alright. And we have two Noxious Grasps, slightly better than any of them. I think having one in the deck is probably okay. I don't want to thin too much. I'm not cutting it. No shot. We're going to leave one Noxious Grasp from the board. We don't want to be like... If our hand is all interaction, we do probably just lose. We need to get the beat down in, or we will get to ferry out the game. Speaking of, I think this is a one-lander. Or mulligan. We're going to be on the draw. This looks fairly reasonable. We have a bunch of hand disruption. I'll keep this, put a duress back. We'd actually like to draw another black land, but... Alright. Wonder if this is something nice to be in with. So turn 3 is when we start worrying... Okay, we just draw more hand disruption. Go red zone. Then we make the Crypt Breakers we have in play. When we start casting hand disruption spells, we can only cast one a turn as well, which is important. So Temporary Lockdown, Wandering Emperor, there's some other important stuff. I doubt they've still got vetoes lying around. I want to be a little careful just in case they're on like I'm gonna board into a bunch of cats. Because that is another thing the Kahira deck does. Okay. That's fine. This exchange is also okay. We do really want to draw another land though. I'm only stuck on 2 lands here for another turn. Fine. Punish slightly for the Mutant Vaults here, but it's worth. They really wanted to defend what they have in hand, but maybe they just wanted to interact. I'm gonna cast another Thoughtseize. Let's have another look. They could also have like Baneslayer or Lyra they want to protect. We will see, we will see. Alright, another tap land. That bodes well. I want to be a little wary, because if they have the Shark Typhoon, we kind of have to... Oh, jeez. They keep defending the land, so I feel like we need to keep casting disruption spells. Take Wandering Emperor, get Memory Deluged. I think this is right. It's funny that sentence is there, actually. We've been casting all these spells for a single black mana and having to meet them all up the entire time. Okay. Let's see what's up. Although you probably just want a Deluge here. Obviously they have an unknown card. Please draw black. Okay. I'm still gonna run the Wandering Emperor attack. Excuse me. Petra Wanderer attack. They're the same card. And then I think we need to start building. So Champion of the Perished will be the first one out of the gate. The other thing is these Dread Wanderers are not activating anytime soon at all. Which is fun. Alright, there is the Deluge. Top 4, pick 2. And hey, they have some great hits. They have some great hits. But maybe we can get there. Them adding Kahira is maybe a good sign. What is going? They memory deluge and then play Kahira as their turn. Yeah, I want to know what's up. What's happening? Leyline Binding, change the equation doesn't do anything. Well, okay, these cards do things, but Leyline Binding is an answer to some of the larger things that are going to happen up later. Getting the little guys counted isn't as worrying. I'll start with the Dread Wanderer here, but I'll offer a trade. Obviously, you want to keep the champion around. They're like, no shot, buddy. There's another alternative line where you just start activating Hall of Storm Giants, which I'm a little scared of. Yes, is also vigilant. Okay, we drew another land. They have 6 lands, which means they're not flashing back the Deluge. But we'll try one of these. It may be 11 the Dread Wanderer. And then Hell this the next turn. Yeah. Okay. Given everything, we will attack with the Dread Wanderer. You have to fight them out of counter spells. Obviously, the Crit Breaker being a way we can draw cards is one we should not necessarily throw just straight away. They're on the beatdown too. 2 unknowns. Alright, we hit a Black Source. Let's cast this, see what happens. They're at 6 lands and they would play a 7, so we know that the cards they've drawn are spells too. Giving away as little information as possible. I think at this point I just make this attack. Oh, they could have Wandering Emperor. Sometimes it's like, can you afford to play around XY? Getting to the hero this way I think is also just fine. So, to be fair, I don't necessarily want to... This is dead. Oh, what are these 2 cards going to be? Shard Typhoon would be a big beatdown. They could just be holding that. Maybe you should just let Liliana and just down tick to look at hero. Oh well, gone. Okay, this is resolved. Make Liliana. Sure. What's going on with them? They don't have a ton of time left. Okay, Settle. You know, Settle's actually totally fine. I will happily take some swamps. Obviously, would like the damage, but now the game's the game. So this change of equation can counter the Champion of the Perished. We have them at 4. We have a Hive. We have a Mutavault. We have mana. If Berta gets rid of that, they can still counter the Champion. But as is, they're still in a bunch of trouble. Attacking the Mutavault and attacking with a Hive are basically the same. We'll do the one that costs us 3 less mana. Ooh. Okay. Otherworldly Light's nice. Whatever I play here, I want to actually resolve. So I think I'm just going to make the Lord, get some power on the board. Because we know if we play the champion, it gets countered. Do we want to just use this? I don't think so. Maybe I'll try and find a window where it's going to be optimal. Or were they tucked out or something? Yeah, they're dead on board. They know it, we know it. Actually, not. They can block this here. Oh no, they're at T. No. Anyway. Nice. Well, that was blue-white. Okay, next game. Alright, second match with zombies. Color game versus blue-white. See what our opponents on here. They are on the play and have lightning bolt sleeves. May or may not mean anything. One land is falling in. And we'll keep this. So I think I like keeping the third land. I'm not sure. I think I'm actually gonna put the music back. Keep Thoughtseize plus zombies. That's just having more resources. Okay, lightning bolt sleeves, red cards. A set of honor, one might say. I am gonna cast the Thoughtseize. See what it does. Taking a target's command is actually totally fine. That's okay. That feels okay. I feel happy about that. Robber the Rich. I mean, we're taking a lot of damage. We short time accelerate them a bit. Swamp, okay. Yeah, so if we play Relentless Death, I think it's fine. It can die. I assume this gets play with fired. If they don't play with fire, they've drawn a target's command, almost certainly. Which is fair. Yep. Here we go. It dies. The nice thing here is that the Lord of the Curse actually blocks the Robber the Rich really well. Oh well. Very well. Oh, Garnet is a nice one though. Cool. Oh, and the... That's funny. They get to make a bunch of zombies. Or they can play it for one, and if I have a zombie and they don't, then... Zombie gets -1, -1. Ah, okay, not like so. 3, 3. This one does 1 damage to us, so it will be a curse. We might just get ran over here. It's a little dangerous. Might just get ran over. Swift Spear, fair. Darla's gonna get to activate again. They're also gonna get to cast... Oh gosh. They can cast zombies and the Dark Salvation. Oh, dear. I think we're still kind of priced into this block. Maybe this forces them to use stuff, but the cards are very real. It's all pretty bad. We're going pretty low here. Okay. Down to 5. Have one card that says can't be blocked in hand, and the other one says deals damage to you on upkeep. So we might be dead. Might be. Opponent's thinking about casting our creatures, maybe. Isolation will do that. Relentless Dead, not awful. And the Graphing at least does block. So we shall see. We shall see shells. Oh. I did. You take 1 extra damage here. Oh no, this was exactly the Rabbit Emperors. Okay, let's get a T. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. We were dead like 10 million ways. It's fine. 1,000 bad lines. We have Not a lot for red in our sideboard, to be honest. There are a couple of cards which aren't great. The Transmogrant's pretty bad. And I consider taking these out for duresses. The Salt Seasons are also pretty awkward. But to what extent? At least we get to be able to play here. We can bring in Reckoner Backbuster. Don't feel fantastic about it. The Graph Reaver is also pretty awkward. We are a little vulnerable to red decks. The Backbuster is at least draw cards. The plan here. Dealing with Planeswalkers is fine. I'm gonna board like this. We're gonna bring all the Reckoner Backbusters in. Which doesn't seem right because it's like a slow card, but also, yeah, we can crew it. We just have nothing that we want, which is unlucky. It's not unlucky at all, we just... Hey, you can't sideboard for everything. Another one-lander. Oh my gosh. I mean, hey, this is fine. I'm gonna put the Mutavault on the bottom. Pray we draw a swamp. Well, the champion, this at least forces them to, like, hey, think about playing removal early. Because the champion will outgrow the removal spells that they play. Hopefully. Here. If you're interested in the Ataka red deck, I did actually do a video on this as well. I think last week. So you should check that out. It's very, very good. There's also like a more like a Gleeful Demolition version of it. Also pretty good. Would recommend either or. Currently deciding between Blue-White Flash, Hogak, and Arcfiend Alteration for an RCQ coming up. Not sure what yet. I'm absolutely not blocking this, but they might just kill it anyway. Right, they're going to lightning strike the champion, which is okay. The nice thing is that the Relentless Dead does eventually bring the champion back from back to the living. I think give it everything, and I want to be able to pay mana with the Relentless Dead. We're happy to attack with it here. They've managed to not, well, they've not managed to go wide yet, which is good for us. That's the thing, actually, I wanted to talk about. Are you interested, if you're watching this, in watching me play Lord of the Rings Limited? No blocks. Obviously, the set's coming out. I might do some historic stuff as well. There are some pretty saucy cards there for Historic 2. Oh, this is aggressive. We're 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I just want to suddenly attack it and say, hey. That was me counting a Tarkus command maths for their team. So it would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the command itself would be 11. If they then have a burn spell, they can get to 14. But, okay. And for the minute at least, I can threaten to block. Okay, cool. We're going to go to game 3. We're going to go to game 3. Yeah. There's no actual like standard set release or set that's going to be going into Explorer/Pioneer till September, unless we get, and one of the other things that I'm looking at is like July, maybe like late July, early August, we get a anthology or like a remastered set or like a Pioneer Masters that they put into like Paper, Arena, and MTGO, and then that bridges the gap to between Explorer and Pioneer for Explorer. Really, really cool. Yeah, we're just sideboarding the same way as before. We sell these Backbusters in, we're still not super happy with them, but they do block pretty well. Assuming we are creatures a crew. Which is a big assumption. They do turn some of our cards that say can't block into cards that say can block. Ooh, we're drawing Fatal Pushes too. That's good. That's good. That's good for the cause. We'll take one. Okay, second Backbuster. A little less hype. But, you know, we're living. We'll push this. We'll see what they make it to. If they've not played it already, it's not a Robber of the Rich, it's not a Gala. Okay, Carries Ever's a little tough to deal with. This doesn't actually block any of it, but we'll do later. We'll play out the Relentless Dead. I think it's a little better than making the Bankbuster and passing. The Bankbusters are like maybe the worst cards of the deck right now, but they're still better than the ones who brought it out, in my opinion. It might be correct to leave just have Thoughtseize in the deck, but I don't love it. Maybe we just have to force them to use it. Honestly. The no blocks is equally as bad. Yeah, it's like here we save 3 damage. This makes them choose between attacking me and attacking the Planeswalker. I mean, they're obviously likely to choose me, but I have some cards that I don't mind discarding as well. Carries up still attacks for 3 here. It becomes a little more than a target's command, but we've actually limited their attack a decent amount. Oh, the Robber's brutal too. Okay. And a Phoenix Chick, so we are in. The Phoenix Chick will snipe off Liliana. Tough. Tough, tough, tough. So we're gonna go to 6 here. And, yeah, a tough spot for sure. At least won't be able to cast a Crypt Breaker yet.
Fine. I know when I'm not wanted.
Okay. This lets us do some weird double block, which is interesting. If we somehow end up with a Crypt Breaker alive... Oh, I don't know. Ah! I wasn't ready for that. Yeah, we don't have any 1-drops we can bring back right now. There are other options of 5 damage. I guess that if you're playing Ember Cleaving, you're 75. Maybe these do stuff. This is awfully sad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is just as good as the others. There's a forced block. Yeah, I was just expecting Rebel Salvo because it's 3 mana, and then it in theory can be cheaper, but it's almost always 3. There are some other cards that have like the same 5 damage. Even the 5 damage in the Indestructible, but have some other upside on them. Perhaps. Yeah, we are dead. That one there. Alright, alright. Go for a third match. My voice is pretty shot. And then, yeah, I'll probably the last one. Okay, B Blue White got ran over by a Tarka Red. And, yeah. Okay, on the play here versus Karuga. Ooh, some kind of fires, you'd imagine. Yeah. And we get to keep a solid 7. Love that. Let's see how it goes. This will be the last match, I think, yeah. My voice is pretty shot and I need to... What? Edited and oop before going away. So I think this will come out on Wednesday, and there should be a video out on... I think next video will be Saturday, I think. Or it might come out on Sunday. I'm away at like a conference for a few days. I don't know if I'll be able to record a video on the day I get back. And then in theory, you might be RCQing, but the regional championships on Saturday, so check out some of that as well. There might be some cool decks. I'm curious to see if the Arcfiend Alteration deck has some stuff pop up. The guy who came up with the list went 8-5 in the regional in the regional championship at DreamHack Dallas in the US, but someone did do very well with the deck in a side event on day 2. I think it was a 10k side event, and they went 7-0-1, finished up the Swiss, but then lost in top 16. Alright, we're gonna Thoughtseize Dread Wanderer here. So Enigmatic, they have double Bone Crush is brutal. We don't have a we never had a way to get our can we not cast it maybe? No, they can cast it. I kinda want to take a giant, but leaving them with their engine cards is a real problem. I'm gonna take the fires. There's a problem. Yeah, we're gonna lose the champion to a stomp. Be able to play Relentless Dead, maybe play the Meatball out as well. Yeah, they're gonna want to get this in now. There. Okay, another Thoughtseize can take the throat. Let's see it's like this then. Just have a look what the new card is. Catch your Triome. You have a choice of either leaving with Bone Crusher or the Enigmatic. The minute they don't have enchantments for the Enigmatic, they're likely to draw into some. But another Bone Crusher Giant will not only like kill another creature, but also give them something to play onto the board and just slow us down with. So I'm gonna take the Giant here. Yeah, we might end up regretting it, but we're gonna do this, drop Relentless Dead, and try and play through. They have an interesting decision here. They're going to shock and play the Bone Crusher Giant, but if they played the Catcher Triumph that time, and maybe they drew an untapped land, but I doubt it because they thought about it for a second. If they play Catcher Triumph, they can maybe get the Enigmatic Carnation down next turn, but this way they're not going to. Here, we're just going to poke in for 2 with the Relentless Dead, and I'll play the Mutavault. We'll look to draw a card off of the castle. Take a little bit of damage there. Interested to see whether this book. Oh, they did. And they still don't have any enchantments aside to it, but they can set it up now. And then all their future enchantments become super, super powerful. Yeah. So, the deck that. I don't know if they won. I think they won. They definitely finished top of the Swiss at DreamHack. Was a Enigmatic Incarnation deck with Heliod in. Pretty sweet list. We go check that out. Got to find it on Melee. We still have to try and draw out through this. Well, Thoughtseize puts Enigmatic back in the graveyard. Excuse me, my voice is. Okay. We can cast Thoughtseize. Put the Enigmatic in the graveyard, but we're so low on life. You know what? It's a red zone attack. That's what they actually decide to do here. The idea here is that they double block they can double block the other instead, in which case we'll get it back to hand, bring back the champion in our graveyard. Okay. This is also fine. We're going to Thoughtseize the Incarnation, then recast this. And if you're like, this is incredibly slow, what on earth are you going to be doing here? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay, so did they draw a card that can cast off the fires? Okay, they did, but it's under the fires. Right. Any attacks, though? This is the worrying bit, I guess. This does give us a lethal line. Okay, no attacks. I think we just have to commit to the bit. They still have no lethal attacks. The thing here is that next turn they'll be able to draw a pile of cards of Karuga and find something that's able to interact with. Yes, they can eat these creatures. But we're just out of time. Oh yeah, so hand can also flip. So when it enters the battlefield, return an enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand, which is awesome because it gets back fires or it gets back Enigmatic. Then it flips and it lets you. It's actually not that important for the deck. The front half is actually more important, but the back half lets you cast spells with the add flash, which isn't very helpful because fire says you can only cast spells on your own turn anyway. That doesn't let you do. It doesn't actually do anything. The spells you cast cost 1 less for each card your opponents have drawn this turn is also not, you know, super meaningful. Oh, so bad. In. And depending on what they do, you might not be totally dead. That is half true. They also decided not to lose a Fable, which is great. Alright, that we can concede to. I was gonna say, depending on what if they have like literally nothing, then we can go for one of their creatures, maybe live. So Enigmatic. Creature. The Noxious Grasps. And the Duresses. Another matchup where Fatal Push is pretty bad. The Go for the Throats are actually kind of okay here. And the Lilianas I'm not super impressed with. If you can like combine Hand Disruption to Liliana is decent. They also sometimes those games like the Bunker Giants will block and stuff, and it's actually not too bad. Overall, not fantastic. The Noxious Grasps are kind of grasping at straws here. I'm going to cut one of these graph readers, they're not really doing much against planes. But yeah. They're not doing much with Planeswalkers. Okay. We try again. Zombies to the battlefield. I'm going to call this video Zombies Taking Over. Or something like that. Regardless of whether we go 1-2 or 2-1. I'm gonna mulligan. Oh, boo. We'll keep this. We'll put a mini vault back. Salvation's not fantastic, but it's, you know, doable. It's like some really good matchups, but also some not so good ones. Or at least there's actually ooh, okay. In mulligan for that, so we have 5 cards left, and that means that we actually might be in a decent spot. The deck's, despite having a bunch of graveyard interactions, not like super reliant on it. Obviously turns Relentless Dead into like a 2/2 with Menace, but that's actually not that bad. Like the failure state's okay. I've managed to resist like the entire time until now. Yeah. So basically, we'll see how badly they've crippled themselves mulliganing for the ley line. Assuming that's why they mulliganed, but okay. White's in the deck. Oh. Make our opponent discard some extra cards.
Those who get in my way tend to regret it. Drop it.
Oh. They mulligan into 2 ley lines. There. Saging. You know what, Fable? I don't want to discard Relentless Dead. We can save Dark Salvation for the other half. I think that's fine, actually.
Haven't you ever
This
heard of
way.
space?
Do this the right way around. We get to play more to the board. which makes the Dark Salvation in theory better later. And maybe we get to cast this for X equals 2. Make a couple of extra zombies. Let's see, let's see. The real question is, if they decide to sacrifice the ley line, what can they tutor for with Enigmatic? Pulsmere? Elashnorn? Elashnorn doesn't do a ton of latency stack actually, but not good. Are we getting rid of Fable or are we getting rid of Leyline? Fable. We're going for 4. Choices. Oh, getting Heliod off of Fable and getting the Fable back is actually sick. That's pretty awesome. I'm trying to work out if we can somehow do all the things. I say all the things, not actually all the things. Oh, jeez. So we take one of these. We can Dark Salvation the Heliod away. We tick up Liliana. That's so close to being really, really good. Leyline Binding lets them 2 for a 7 drop, which I think we just have to get rid of this. A little rough. The idea here is that we animate both of these. This is indestructible, right? Yeah. So target a player, me, target creature, the Heliod. We'll take up to have them discard.
I'm tired of your secrets.
And discard the Triome. Which means at least we have a sacrifice outlet for whatever they tutor up. They're also on 6 and we have 2 mana lands. We're in a reasonable spot. They're gonna get able to get to, they can tutor for 2 things here, which is brutal. So, what are we getting? We could also just sacrifice one of them away, but I think that maybe try and grab 2 to close things out. Elashnorn and Pulsmere? I actually don't know. That's just what I'm assuming. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Pulsmere fights the wolves. Yeah, it's kinda done. They get a new wolf here. Ah. We can't go cover him personally, yeah. We get down to here, but unfortunately we are losing. And there's no coming back from this. So, thank you very much for watching. This has been Zombies. I was glad to do it once. Yeah. If you're not already, please do like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I have some more videos coming this weekend. Hopefully we get some exciting decks coming out of the next couple of regional championships this weekend as well. And I will be doing my best to cover those and looking out for anything spicy. Again, if you've not already, check out the Arc Fiend alteration video. That deck is wild. Also, if I did stream a little bit of Best of One with it on Twitch over the weekend. There'll be a link in the description if you want to check me out there. You can watch that one if you want to. Because did not lose very much. But yeah, cool. Take care. Thanks for watching. Peace.